There's no magic spell. There's no solution that is going to come, say, from the Supreme Court.
That also isn't the function of the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court are meant to be the stewards of justice. People don't look to the Supreme Court and go, okay, hopefully these elderly people that are reassuringly diverse learned some Hogwarts stuff while they were wearing those outfits. It's meant to just be based on the law that's been written down by people. It isn't magic, and I don't think anyone expects magic from them.
They gave us that reminder today. After last week, they made sure we knew it in the first place when they somewhat inexplicably took action to delay all the Trump criminal trials.
Rachael Maddox there unconsciously compressing the word crime and Trump into one portmanteau, because that's what the media are attempting to do, to look at Trump as criminal in the same way as they look at the domestic population as criminal, the same way they deploy terrorist technologies against domestic populations in your country and mine. Note furthermore that Rachael Maddox is quite willing to dismiss the highest court in the land as delegitimate as soon as it doesn't perform the function that the establishment wants it to perform. Isn't that the number one thing they criticise about Donald Trump? He's bad for our institutions. He doesn't respect law and order. Why? With his constant declaration of fake news, he ruins trust in the media. You can't do that. We're real journalists. We're serious. I went to a special school. We had wood-panelled walls in the buildings where I went to school. How dare you say that? And what happens the minute the Supreme Court doesn't do their bidding? Fake justice. Fake justice don't mean anything. They can't do magic spells.
There's no magic spell.
So, if the reason they hate Trump is because he's sort of uber or exterior to democratic institutions and procedures that are part of the heritage of the United States of America, and there's lots of books and it's all very important, if that's the problem with Trump, is that he's iconoclastic and clumsy and crass and brash, then why is it when Trump's ascendancy continues, primarily because he's an anti-establishment candidate and everybody hates the media and everybody hates the government, you can feel it, we all know it, and they're unwilling to do anything about it because they can't do anything about it, what do? They attack the institution. Oh, it's just the Supreme Court. Look at them, the bloody idiots. Fake justice. Fake justice. Either it's wrong to trash these institutions, or it isn't. Now, I know where I stand on that particular subject, but I don't know where the establishment stand on it, because one minute they say, oh, the Capitol, it's sacred. You can't say that about the media. Joe Rogan doesn't wear a tie. They can't have it both ways, and yet they want to have it both ways because they've got no principles, they've got no argument, all they've got is Trump.
There's no magic wand coming to stop this thing.
Or policy change. All right, I can see these wars are a bit unpopular. Should we stop funding them? I can see a lot of you seem to be worried about this border crisis. Should we do something about that? A lot of you seem deeply concerned about the lack of infrastructure, entropy decay, increasing welfare inequality, the inability of the government to meaningfully regulate the defence industry, the inability of the Pentagon to pass its own audits, the inability of the FDA to regulate the pharmaceutical industry. Those are policies. That's not magic. That's something they could do. Oh, there's nothing we can do about the CIA lying and pre-bunking stories so the Hunter Biden laptop story doesn't capsize an election. Magic isn't what's required. Honesty is what's required. Integrity is what's required. Transparency is what's required. Policies that resonate with American people is what's required. If the Democrats can't see that Teamsters in the form of truckers for Trump turning up for the Republicans, even though the Teamsters have gone both ways over the years, but more latterly have generally been in support of Democrats, then they have to acknowledge they don't resonate or reach ordinary working people, and I can see why. Biden, I love the unions, I love black people. Where's the policies that support that? As soon as that train crashes in East Palestine, that it turns out was because of lack of expenditure on labour, lack of expenditure on sick pay, lack of expenditure on trains, and indeed it creates an environmental disaster which suddenly no one bloody well cares about, even though they bang on about climate change as long as it can be utilised to keep you in your home. The problem with the Democrats is not Trump. The problem with the Democrats is the Democrats. And until they're willing to have that conversation, they're going to find themselves locked in a war with someone who understands the type of warfare that they're engaging in better than they do. And when they find themselves attacking their own institutions, which is precisely what they condemned Trump for, their hypocrisy is yet further exposed.